day, everyone. Again, this is Teacher Charmaine, and welcome to Mathematics 4. Are you ready? Our topic for today is about comparing and arranging decimals. You successfully learned lesson 1 about rounding off decimals to the nearest whole numbers and nearest tens. Today, for this lesson, you are going to learn how to compare and arrange decimals from least to greatest and greatest to least. Before we move on to our lesson, let's define a decimal number. A decimal number is a number that has decimal point in it. But how do we compare and how do we arrange decimals? Are you ready to learn further? Okay, let's start!
So after completing this video, you are expected to compare and arrange decimals. Okay, so let's study the table. Long-term weather forecast in Baguio City, Philippines. Here is the table. We have here the date and the data of lowest and highest temperature, comparing these 5 dates from the lowest temperature and highest temperature. We can compare decimal numbers using the place value chart. So we have the lowest temperature. Let's start comparing from left to right. So from the left, we have the whole numbers, the tens and ones. In the middle, we have the decimal point. On the right, we have the tenths and hundredths. As you can see, all digits on the tens place value are all 1. So let us compare the next place value. On the ones place value, the numbers are 77666. Can we now determine which decimal numbers are bigger? Of course, these two are the higher numbers. But which of these two is the highest? Okay, so let us compare 17 and 2 tenths and 17 and 12 hundredths. Can you tell which is bigger? Since both have the same whole numbers, we will proceed to the next place value, which is the tenths place. So we have here 2 and 1. So which is higher? Perfect. That is number 2. So the highest among the 5 temperature is 17 and 2 tenths. Next is 17 and 12 hundredths. Let's now compare the remaining 3. Now let us compare the last 3 decimals. 16 and 3 tenths, 16 and 25 hundredths, and 16 and 9 hundredths. Since all of them have the same whole numbers, let us compare the next place value, which is the tenths place. On the tenths place, we have 3, 2, and 0. So basically, 3 is the highest, next is 2, and the lowest is 0. If you are going to arrange the 3 from highest to lowest, we have 16 and 3 tenths, 16 and 25 hundredths, and 16 and 9 hundredths. Okay, so now let's answer the following questions. Okay, look at the table. On what date has the lowest temperature? What's your answer? Perfect. The answer is September 20. Next, on what date has the highest temperature? Great. The answer is September 16. Next question, which has a lower temperature? September 16 or 17? Very good. The answer is September 17. And last, which has a higher temperature? September 16 or 20? You are right. The answer is September 16. Okay, very good. You answered all the question correctly. Since we are done comparing, let us proceed in putting it in order. Okay, so from greatest to least. Alright, first is 17 and 2/10. Okay, second is 17 and 12/100. Third is 16 and 3/10. Next is 16 and 25/100. And last is 16 and 9/100. So, that is from greatest to least. Now, let us arrange it from least to greatest. We just have to put it in a reverse order. So, from least to greatest, we have first 16 and 9/100. Next is 16 and 25/100. Third is 16 and 3/10. Fourth is 17 and 12/100. And last is 17 and 2/10. Alright, so there is another way of comparing and arranging decimal numbers. So I'm going to show you how. Okay, look at this one. It is by putting zeros to the missing digit on the place value. Okay, as you can see, there are no digits on the last place value of 17 and 2/10 and 16 and 3/10. So now, we are going to add 0 to the last digit to easily compare and arrange the decimals. Okay, so please remember that way or that other way of comparing decimals. Now, let us compare decimals using the following symbols. We have less than, greater than, equivalent, or equal to. First, let us use greater than. Okay, so let us get the example on the table that I have provided earlier. Okay, so this is the greatest to least. Okay, so let us use greater than. When do we use it? Okay, we use it when the value is bigger or larger than the other. So from the example, we have 17 and 2/10 is greater than 17 and 12/100. 17 and 12/100 is greater than 16 and 3/10. 16 and 3/10 is greater than 16 and 25/100. 16 and 25/100 is greater than 16 and 900. Alright. Next symbol is less than. We use less than when the value is lower or smaller than the other. So let's get the example. This is least to greatest. Okay, 16 and 900 is less than 16 and 25/100. 16 and 25/100 is less than 16 and 3/10. 16 and 3/10 is less than 17 and 12/100. 17 and 12/100 is less than 17 and 2/10. Okay, and the last symbol is equivalent or equal to. So, here is the example. 17 and 2/10 is equals to 17 and 20/100. 14 and 3/10 is equal to 14 and 30/100. Okay, so I think you are now ready for our activity. Do you want to go fishing? Great! Let's go fishing. Let's catch all the fishes showing decimals which are bigger than the given decimal inside the basket. Okay, so let's start with our activity. Make sure you have your paper and pen so you can go fishing with me. The decimals given inside the basket is 2 and 3/10. Help me catch all the fish bigger than 2 and 3/10. So what are the fish that we need to catch? Very good. First is 2 and 60/100. Next is, right, 2 and 5/10. And last we have, perfect, 2 and 82/100. Very good, grade 4 pupils. Thank you so much for helping me catch those fish. Alright, so what have you learned from this lesson? Okay, so for this lesson, you have learned how to compare and arrange decimals from least to greatest, or ascending order, and greatest to least, or descending order. How do we compare decimals? We compare decimals by putting the digits in the place value chart. Start comparing the number from left to right. Symbols like greater than, less than, and equal to are used to show comparison between two decimals. In arranging decimals, we start from small number if the order is ascending, and we start from bigger number if the order is descending. Okay, so get your paper and pen. We have here the assessment. Okay, read the following statements. Write the answer on your paper. So please check your module on page 32 and answer the following from A to C. Alright, so that ends our lesson for today. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.